Hey guys, Dal Houston here with Dal Houston Exchange Company. Um, what I want to talk about today is the 45-day identification period on a 1031 exchange. The first thing I want to say, and if you watch a lot of my videos on this channel, I'm going to repeat this over and over again because it is absolutely one of the most asked questions that we get, and that is, when does the 45-day identification period begin? Think about a real estate transaction, and I'm going to have a separate video on what the real estate transaction is, but for our purposes, a real estate transaction starts when you first sign a contract between the buyer and seller to sell whatever it is, and it sets out the price, the legal description of the property, the terms, the conditions. Is there financing involved? Is there 1031 involved? Is there title insurance? Is there title review? Is there building inspection, surveys, things like that? So that puts everything in motion. And I hear so many people talk about, oh, I bought something today, I bought something today, and they really didn't buy it today. Technically, from an attorney standpoint, what they did is they've now got a pending contract, a pending agreement to buy something, okay? So the 45-day period does not start then. So if on December 1st I sign a contract to buy something or sell something, that is not the day I bought it. Rather, most contracts, and it varies a little from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, state to state, locality to locality, but normally it'll have a close date in there for everybody to do their due diligence to get everything done that they're supposed to. And it might be 45 days, it might be 2 months, it might be 3 months, depending on what the parties have agreed to. Then you've got the close date, and the close date's when you go to the closing office, or the closing agent, in most cases today, sends out the closing statements. In the meantime, the closing agent has got any mortgage releases. They've generally got the deed from the seller to the buyer, and they've also got the money from the buyer paid to the closing company. And so either in the old-fashioned closings, the parties came together within the closing agent's office, and basically the closing agent handed the money to the seller and the deed to the buyer, and that was a close date. That was the date it transferred. That is important because that is what puts in play the 45-day identification period, okay? It is that close date, and it's so important because that's what puts in that close dates. And a lot of people get confused. Again, they look at it and say, it's the date I signed the contract. So maybe they signed a contract and the closing's not going to be for 3 months, and they thought they've already lost the 45-day identification period because maybe a month and a half is run and that 45 days is run, and they just disregard it and say, oh my gosh, I only had 45 days from the date I bought it to do that. I bought it on December 1st, when in fact, taking it apart, taking the transaction apart, what they really did was sign that contract on December 1st, not actually buy the property and close it. It is that closing date that puts everything in play. Now, one thing that you do need to know regarding the 45 days is, again, it is 45 days. There are no extensions. The only extension that I know of is in the event of a presidential declared disaster zone. That does not happen very often. We've had 1031s that's been in disaster zones, in catastrophic areas, but unless it's presidentially declared, it does not extend it. So 45 days is a drop date, and you need to be aware of that. I hope that helps explain a little bit. I hope you find the content interesting and of service to you. If we can in any way be of help, don't hesitate to contact us. Either check out our website or give us a call. Dow Houston, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.